Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we're going to make an arrangement. This is actually going to go to a dog show. They're going to have a couple of arrangements here and there. This is going to sit right beside where they're going to give the medals to the dogs or their trophies to the dogs. And so we are going to put together a fun colored arrangement in their container. So this is a resin urn. It's just a pretty urn. And what we've done, they already had a liner in the container. I just added 1 block of fresh floral foam, and I was sure to fill the liner with water. And we're going to take our fresh flowers and make a pretty flower arrangement. So we have lots of pretty flowers here. We're going to start out adding our greenery first. So I have several different varieties of greenery. I have a little bit of jade. We have some leather leaf. And then I went out in the yard and cut a little bit of privet. So we'll add that to it. I love that bright green. I'm going to start out with my jade. So I'm going to take it. Our jade, we leave it in the box when we store it. We just leave it in the box. We don't take it out and put it in water. And so we just pull it right out of the box. So I'm going to take that stem, strip off some of that, the foliage, and I am going to cut it at an angle and tuck that right into that floral foam. Now I'm stripping that foliage down at the bottom just because I don't need it quite that long. So you can see I'm kind of stripping and I'm just tucking that greenery right into that foam. We're basically making a one-sided arrangement, almost like a church arrangement. So it's going to be in a fan shape. And they just asked that we do some fun, bright colors. So I've got some yellow and some white and some green and a pretty coral, a bright pop of coral. I'm taking my greenery and I'm going to green it in the front. And then I'm going to turn my container around and I'll green out the back. I always like to make sure the back side's greened out, because what if they take pictures from behind and I don't have any foliage in the back side? It's always important that you finish your arrangements all the way around. All right, so there's our jade in place. I'm going to turn the container around. So this is fresh floral foam that we have taken and gone ahead and soaked that in water. Anytime you're using fresh floral foam, you want to make sure that you soak it before you use it. You never want to use dry foam with fresh flowers. So we have soaked that foam. I tucked it down into the liner that they had in this container, which worked out beautifully, and then I added water to that liner. Anytime you're working with fresh floral foam, you want to make sure that you have a liner that has plenty of room for water, because it gets thirsty. You know, they get so thirsty. So there is our greened out container with our jade. Next, I'm going to come in with a touch of leather leaf fern. I'm going to strip some of that fern off and just tuck a little bit in. I'm tucking the leather. It doesn't necessarily have to have the leather. I just like that it has a different texture in there with the greenery. So that's the reason I'm adding just a touch of the leather leaf. And then next we're going to take the greenery that I harvested out of the yard. So I'm just going to take my foliage, strip that off, cut that stem at an angle, And I love that this is kind of a bright green. It kind of makes you think of St. Patrick's Day. You can see how pretty and bright it is. Now we always like to use things that we can harvest, especially if we have it on hand. Here at the flower shop, we have some kind of a little wooded area in the back where we can go back there and cut any kind of foliage that might be growing that's pretty. Now the one thing you have to be careful about though is you have to make sure that it's going to hold up in water. So if you're thinking you want to use a foliage that you harvest, go ahead and cut it, add it to fresh water and see how it holds up. We actually use this foliage every year. And it holds up beautifully, and it's free foliage from the yard, so it's a great added touch without any added cost. So I always love that. All right, so there is our pretty greenery. So we are finished with our greenery. The flowers we have, let's see what all we have over here. I have some pretty bales of Ireland, so we're going to start out with our bales first. So bales of Ireland are just a green line flower. Now for me, I always like to pinch the leaves out of the tip just because it just kind of cleans it up. So I always pinch the leaves out of the tip. If you like those leaves, leave them. It's not going to hurt the flower at all. I'm going to take my first stem and tuck it in the top there. I'm going to take my second one, pinch that tip, cut it at an angle, press that right down into my floral foam. All right, and then I have two more. So I've got my three in my top, and here's, I'm going to strip off some of the blooms here, and I'm going to tuck it to the right and to the left. There it goes. Get it to hit that foam. Okay, there's our bales of Ireland. Next I'm going to come in with a little bit of Solidago. So Solidago, if you've watched me design it all, Solidago is one of my favorites. It's also fairly inexpensive. And I do love that about Solidago. And it gives it that extra pop of yellow. So what I'm going to do is, you see how I fanned out my bales? Next I'm going to add my Solidago just kind of in between. Strip. And this Solidago just adds that little fresh pop of yellow. I think I'll go on each side. And you can see I'm just cutting that stem at an angle and just pressing it right down into that floral foam just like that. So there's our yellow. Next we're going to add some white Alstroemeria lilies. So we've got some really pretty Alstros. Alstroemeria lilies are also called Peruvian lilies. Fairly inexpensive flowers, but very long lasting. And so I love the fact that they're very reasonable in price, but they give you that little pop of color. Now when you think of lilies, often you think of fragrance. Alstroemeria lilies do not have the smell or the fragrance that oriental lilies would have, but they're very long lasting, and they come in a rainbow of colors. They're the perfect rainbow of flowers, honestly. They come in yellows and reds, like a true red. They come in an orange. Shades of pink, like not only one shade, it comes in shades of pink. They come in a pretty green and purples, so they're every color you can think of. If you needed a flower with any color, an Alstroemeria lily is your go-to because it can be added to almost any arrangement in any color scheme. Next, we're going to come in with some coral colored roses. I love this pop. It's just such a happy color, and I thought it would be a perfect pop of color for this arrangement. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some wire right here, and I am going to wire these roses. Now here at our flower shop, we like to wire our roses. For me, it's important. It's just an added insurance to help keep these little heads standing up. So I press that wire right into that calyx, and then I'm going to spin it right around, just wrap it right around that stem. So easy peasy. And I'm going to do that with each of these roses. All right, so I am going to continue adding my little coral roses. So there's our pretty coral roses, and then to finish it off, we're going to add some white daisies, some simple standard white daisies. So these little daisies are little white daisies that have the yellow center, which I think are so lovely. I don't think you can ever go wrong with happy little white daisies. There are so many different types of mums. But I do think that one of my favorites is a standard white daisy. It's just so pretty and simple. All right, so there is our finished arrangement. Now this arrangement runs about $75. It includes the bells of Ireland, the green bells as our line flower, the yellow Alstroemeria daisy. I mean, that's not yellow, that's white. The white Alstroemeria daisies, yellow solidago, the coral colored roses, which I love that pop of color. I think that pop of color is just perfect. And then our mixed greenery. Our greenery includes, and then our standard daisies. Our greenery includes jade, which is the palm branch, some leatherleaf foliage, leatherleaf fern, and then just some mixed foliage we cut out of the yard. So it's a very simple but very pretty arrangement, and it's perfect for a church, or this is actually going to go again to the to a dog show. So it's going to be right beside on a stand beside where the dogs will get their trophies. So I think it is perfect for this event. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have questions about how we do things, please don't hesitate to ask. You could drop that in the comments right below. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button right down below, and that little bell is going to give you notifications for when we have a new video. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon.